Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
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 Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam. Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam.
Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Bhaj Shri Krishnam, Shri Krishna.
Namaste, Radhe Radhe, and a very warm welcome to everyone. We are now very happy to start the exclusive Q&A session with Swami Mukundananda ji. Very grateful to Swamiji for establishing this beautiful JKYog online platform. Thousands of sessions have been conducted just during this pandemic. And as you just saw, millions of positive thoughts have been exchanged globally to make the lives of thousands of people across the world a much better, much happier and much better. Multiple sessions, all free, are being offered, including yoga, meditation, daily sadhana, happiness challenge, Bhagavad Gita, and much more. All these are possible only through Swamiji's guidance, inspiration, and his teachings. Today marks the milestone of the completion of the recently launched 21-day happiness challenge put it to practice session, and also the completion of more than 60 lessons in the daily sadhana put it to practice session. Once again, we're very thankful and grateful to Swamiji for having taken time out of his very busy schedule to join this session online and address the questions of some of the regular participants of the online sessions. Thank you so much, Swamiji, and we are looking forward to eagerly hear words of wisdom from you.
Namaste, everybody. Thank you, Swapna. I would like to express my appreciation to the commitment of those who have been participating on a regular basis in the Happiness Challenge and the 60th lesson of the daily sadhana. Your commitment is to achieve the purpose of life, which is God realization. Now, as you are dedicating yourself to the efforts, in our Vedic traditions, one of the aspects of that effort is the question and answer. The beauty of our Vedic tradition is it doesn't impose something as blind faith with no option to believe or not believe. It, in fact, encourages a healthy questioning attitude where you think, analyze, express your doubts, have opportunities to resolve them. And once you see something is logical and makes sense, then you surrender your intellect and accept the whole of the knowledge. That is why our scriptures have the dialectic process. The Bhagavad Gita is a question answer. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are discussions between seekers and saints that come again and again. So is the system followed in many of the Upanishads as well. Lord Krishna, he says to Arjuna in the Gita, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. He says, Arjuna, if you wish to acquire knowledge, do these three things. What are these three things? Approach somebody who is a seer of the truth. Then you offer your respects to that person, pranipatena. And pariprashnena, inquire submissively, remembering that spiritual knowledge is not purchased and not sold. Spiritual knowledge is bestowed by one who knows, and it is received by the one who is seeking. So this attitude must be there for the transfer of knowledge to happen. The intention of the person who is bestowing, if that person is a genuine saint, the intention is pure. So from the seeker's side also, the purity must be there. It is a grace that is being bestowed upon me. So Lord Krishna then says, Sevaya, express your surrender by serving. And that is how spiritual truths are understood when knowledge is imparted and received with such reverence and faith. So I will be very happy to take the questions that all of you who were participating in these online courses would have today. We have had many such online sessions ever since the lockdowns began. And today, once again, it is my pleasure and privilege to help and serve in whatever way possible.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. We will move on to the question and answer session. But before that, some of the participants have been so inspired by the teaching that they've decided to become the life members. So we would like to take a moment to acknowledge them. So first, joining us from Dallas, Texas is Sashidhar and Vidu Iranki ji. They have become a life member.
Namaste. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Namaste, Radhe Radhe. We became life members of the Radha Krishna Temple last year after attending one of the lectures by Swamiji. It was the
Seven Secrets.
The Seven Secrets lecture, and we were so enamored and so excited to keep coming back. So we became life members after just a few days of attending the lecture, and we really liked the approach of the body, mind, and the soul.
And Swamiji, we were so impressed by the organization of all the volunteers worldwide when the pandemic happened, how such a huge diversity of programs has come. In just a very short time, it was organized hour after hour, day after day. There was so many lessons imparted to us, very impressive. We just decided to become life members also of JKYog.
Very good.
So impressed with everyone, the volunteers and everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing your inspiration. I do remember meeting you last year in the programs, and happy to meet you online. And we are very happy that you have become life members and expressed your commitment to be a part of this wonderful team to do good to the entire world. Thank you.
Great. With that, we move on to California. Sujata Datharamji, she has decided to become the life member. Please unmute yourself, Sujata ji.
Radhe Radhe, Swamiji. It's my immense pleasure to be part of JKYog family, and I'm truly blessed and fortunate to have become the life member of JKYog. Swamiji, like your teachings have like inspired me tremendously and transformed me to a like whole different level. Like it helped me to look at life in a whole different perspective. And I'm truly blessed, and I want to express my sincere, heartfelt gratitude to Swamiji and your teachings and the entire JKYog team. Radhe Radhe, thank you.
Radhe Radhe, thank you for sharing your wonderful inspiration and all the devotional thoughts that you have imbibed. We are very happy to welcome you to the JKYog family and very glad that you have been benefiting from all the online sessions. I look forward to meeting you in future.
Thank you, Swamiji. We now move on to Florida. Shri Kumarji has decided to upgrade his life membership with JKYog.
Pranam Swamiji. So I attended one of a very nice retreats on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So I really enjoyed that. And I attended the inauguration of the Dallas Temple. And that was just an amazing experience, a very nice volunteers. So thank you so much for your inspiration and your message, Swamiji.
Very good. Very happy that you are, I believe that means you stay close to the Dallas Temple. And very nice that you have connected yourself at the temple and at these online sessions. I look forward to meeting you once again when the situation allows. And do appreciate your becoming a life member.
We then move on to Ohio. Radhika Timisina ji and the family, they have decided to become a life member.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. I'm Radhika
Radhe.
Timsina from Cincinnati, Ohio. I have been connected to JKYog since last February of this year only, but I'm really inspired through your teaching, and we used to use view radio on YouTube and learn many things from the videos, and I am really inspired by your teachings. And during the auspicious occasion of Guru Purnima celebration, I decided to offer myself to Guru and JKYog family by taking life membership of this noble organization. And it's my great fortune to be talking to you right now. And I think it is the grace of God that I get a chance to speak with you, though I haven't met, or my family has not met, and either you, Swamiji, or Maharaji, but I feel now I'm meeting you in person, and I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Sri Maharaji, to you, Swamiji, and all the volunteers of JKYog organization who are contributing a lot to make this organization a best place of bhakti and sadhana. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe to you and to your wonderful children, your family members. This is the way to move ahead. You make a commitment, you increase your surrender, make another commitment, increase your surrender. So you came in touch in February with JKYog, and now you have already taken quick steps. And this is the inspiration and the enthusiasm, when we approach bhakti with enthusiasm and with faith, these two become the foundations on which the palace of bhakti stands. We're very happy to connect with you online today and look forward to meeting you in future in person as well.
Thank you, Swamiji. With this, we move on to the question and answer segment, the much awaited segment. Asking the first question today will be Anjali Soni ji from Gujarat.
Namaskar, Swamiji. So my name is Anjali Soni. I am from Surat, Gujarat, India. Sir, I came to know about JKYog at the time of Yoga Fest, and I am taking almost all online sessions. And your teachings through Daily Sadhana and Happiness Challenge have changed my mindset, Swamiji. And I am grateful to each and everything which I am getting, and to all JKYog family. My question is that how is the mind attached to the soul, and is brain and mind are two different entities?
Yes. So when you talked about how your attitude has changed, that is what spirituality is about. The world remains the same, but we change our attitude. Slowly, slowly, first we develop positivity, we develop gratitude, we develop devotion, and finally, we develop divine sentiments. But then the day comes, Ishavasyamidam Sarvam. The whole world is the form of God. In the spiritual journey, slowly, slowly, we come to that point. Your question is about the mind and the brain. You can compare it like this, that you have a computer, its hardware, which is the machinery, and the software, which are the programs running the machinery. In the same way, the brain is like the hardware, and the mind is like the software which is running it. So the mind is subtle. You cannot see it, you cannot touch it. It is a subtle aspect of that machine. So that brain, that mind is tied to the soul. Now your question is, how is it tied? Just like the body is there. Now you are not the body, you are the soul. But you are thinking, I am the body. Similarly, you are thinking, I am the mind. I am happy, I am sad. Now you are not the mind. So how is this connection happening? It is the ego which is causing it. The ego is creating a false identity. The contact between the soul and Maya comes because of the ego. The ego identifies, I am this, I am this. The day that ego finishes, we will see, I am none of this. I am separate, I am not the body, I am not the mind, and I am not the soul as well. So that is how this inner machinery is working.
Thank you, Swamiji. That was a very clear explanation. Now we move on to the next question, and asking this is Mr. Nimanshu Parekh, all the way from UAE.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe.
Swamiji, it's really, I feel very lucky, and feel very lucky to be here talking to you. Swamiji, I'm from Abu Dhabi, UAE, as Sapraji mentioned. I work as a software engineer in IT department. Swamiji, I have, since my childhood, I have been very close to chanting Bhagavad Gita, because I was learning Sanskrit during school. So I found your sessions, JKYog online sessions on YouTube. So I began my journey with Bhagavad Gita sessions. This was a few weeks before the Yoga Fest. And eventually I've gotten into almost everything that JKYog online offers, because I love the knowledge, and I'm eternally grateful to you all, to you for the knowledge that you share, Swamiji. My question is about devotion. Swamiji, what is the best way to build and strengthen devotion towards God?
To build?
And strengthen devotion towards God.
Okay. Well, very happy that you have joined all the way from UAE, and glad to know about your faith in the Bhagavad Gita. So we have got vast amount of Vedic scriptures. We would say about 500 important ones. But the Bhagavad Gita's prominence is such that in 700 words, it summarizes 700 shlokas, it summarizes all this Vedic knowledge. Now, when we have that commitment to it, of reading it again and again, then naturally the knowledge sinks in deep. And that spiritual knowledge becomes a big asset in the path of bhakti. So one of the ways to deepen our bhakti and strengthen it is that knowledge itself. As you may have heard in one of my lectures, that you find a diamond, but you do not know its value. So you think, well, it must be all right, artificial jewelry. And later on, when you discover that it's a priceless diamond, you naturally fall in love with it. Similarly, when we become convinced that everything in this world is connected with God, and we have our eternal relationship with Him, and the air we breathe is coming from Him, the earth we walk upon is a manifestation of Him. So Sri Krishna says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. That person who has seen Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate. That person naturally surrenders in loving devotion. One of the ways is to hear or read, then contemplate over what you have heard or read. And finally, decide with your intellect, yes, I am the soul and the goal of my life is God. That is one of the ways. There are other ways as well. There is the method of meditation. In Bhakti, we adopt Roop Dhyan meditation, which means you visualize the image of the Lord and practice to love Him. It's a simulation. He is there, I'm serving Him, I am participating in His pastimes. So you're practicing love for Him in your Roop Dhyan meditation. And then there is chanting, hearing, threefold bhakti, to chant, to hear, and to remember. Of course, there are so many other forms of bhakti as well, but in a brief manner, that is the answer to your question.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for that beautiful answer. We now move on to Delaware. Supriya ji from Delaware will be asking the third question. I just want to take a moment. She joined us through the online session and became active during the pandemic, and she has also taken the next step by becoming an active volunteer of JKYog. So we will move on to Supriya ji.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji.
Radhe Radhe.
First and foremost, my heartfelt gratitude to you for giving priceless knowledge for all of us through various online sessions. Though I had heard about Maharajji from one of my friends in 2013, but I found JKYog only in 2020 through Facebook post. My journey with JKYog started this new year with Life Transformation Challenge, and it continued through Sanskrit learning, meditation, happiness challenge, and the ultimate daily sadhana. Thank you once again, Swamiji. And my question for this evening is, how can I forget and forgive people who have badly betrayed me? I find it very difficult when I see them. The whole betrayal episode comes in front of me and I'll get disturbed for a day or so. So how can I forget and face these people boldly with a smile and eliminating the bitterness completely in my heart, eliminating bitterness in my heart permanently?
It doesn't. First of all, Supriya, I'm very happy to connect with you and glad to know about your journey and the fact that you have even moved ahead and become now one of the volunteers. You have asked about forgiveness. Well, forgiveness does not come naturally. Natural human sentiment is to bear a grudge, to become resentful. In fact, it is easier to give up an attachment than to give up resentment. But the problem is, until we forgive and free ourselves from the resentment, we are tied up and unable to progress in our journey. That is why all the saints have told us, you must forgive. Jagat Guru Sri Kripaluji Maharaj says, Bhuli hu dur bhavana ka ho na sapne hu pyare. He says, even in your dream, not even by mistake, harbor any resentment in your mind. Why? Because that resentment will tie us up. It is like two people who were a part of the Holocaust victims, but they survived. And they were discussing a couple of years later. One said to the other, have you forgiven the Nazis as yet? The other said, no, I have not forgiven. The first one said, in that case, they still have you in the dungeon because the mind is bound by it. So when we forgive, it is for our own benefit because we wish to have nothing to do with the negativity. So with great care, realize that lack of forgiveness is hurting ourselves. And then try to work on releasing the resentment. The knowledge that helps us here is that we try to remember that people are not perfect. They are all under Maya, Mayadheen, because this world is made of Maya. And that is why it is not surprising that they are selfish. If they have cheated us, it is only to be expected. Now, if you go to a hospital and you see people are sick, will you be surprised? Why is this person sick? You have come to hospital, you will find sick people. So someone who has been in Maya since endless lifetimes, if that person is selfish, if that person is a hypocrite, if that person is a cheat, what is so astonishing about it? When we learn to accept something, then it does not disturb us. The sun is up there, it is giving us wonderful light, and then it sets. When it does set, we do not become disturbed. What happened to the sun? We knew this is how it's going to happen. So the saints tell us that you are getting disturbed because of your expectations. You expected somebody to be good. Your expectation was wrong. Why did you expect like that? Now that person has turned out to be bad. So the attachment has turned into resentment. The saints keep neither. Kabira khada bazar mein sabki mange khair, na kahu so dosti, na kahu so vair. Neither attachment nor resentment. So with knowledge, with understanding, with practice, you have to work on it. And finally, dovetail your mind to God so much that you don't have time to think about it. Give your mind something higher to focus upon, and you will automatically forget all these lower sentiments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. That was a very practical and invaluable suggestion. Thank you so much. We now move on to Atlanta. Kabita Sahuji from Atlanta will be asking the next question.
Namaste, Swamiji. My name is Kavita. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to express my deep gratitude to you and Maharajji. Long before joining JKYog, I was listening to your videos and Maharaj's videos, and the transformation that happened in my life is hard to express. Like 1.5 years back, before I started this journey, everything was perfect in my life, but I was not smiling, I was not happy. But now everything is going wrong in the world, is pandemic going on, but it's just inside me, I'm so calm and peaceful. And yeah, it's like nothing bothers me now. So thank you so much for all the knowledge and just introducing me to myself and my source. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. Now coming to my question, I know that Guru and God are same, and God resides in our heart. So my belief is that Guru also listens to us as God does. But there is still one question that always comes to my mind, that can someone achieve grace of Guru without being in physical proximity with Guru? Thank you so much, Swamiji.
Okay, Kavita, you brought up a very interesting point, that when everything was right, you were unhappy, and now when everything around is all topsy-turvy, you're still finding that you are happy. The reason for that is the increase in spiritual strength. As you have followed the path, as you have done the sadhana, your spiritual strength has increased. In other words, the mind has developed a reasonable amount of detachment. And that is why things don't disturb you. And that detachment is happening because there's an attachment towards God and Guru. So as regards your question, although God and Guru are the same, yet there is a difference. God is Sarvagya. That means God knows everything. He's sitting in the hearts of all living beings. There's nothing he does not know. Now, the Guru can know something by the grace of God. So the way it works is that if God needs the Guru to know something, he enables that. How this system works without the physical proximity of the Guru is, in the spiritual realm, physical proximity has only one added advantage, two added advantages. The first, the physical presence provides us an opportunity to increase our love through darshan, through hearing. And the second, we get direct seva. However, as far as the graces are concerned, if we surrender wherever we are, if we follow the Guru's teachings, if we dedicate ourselves, if we do the sacrifices, if we control our mind and senses, God sitting inside knows. And because God and Guru are connected, the grace of the Guru becomes available. So really speaking, the disciple, the student needs to focus on his or her own part, and the Guru's grace automatically comes. That is the beauty of the spiritual path. And that is why it said that the great masters, the great gurus, they don't leave, they only become unmanifest. Even after they are no longer in physical form, their grace is still available to the same extent today.
Wonderful, Swamiji. Thank you so much for that very profound answer. Before we go to the next question, I have a very exciting news to share. One of the participants of the online sessions, very inspired by Swamiji's teaching, especially through the daily sadhana platform, wants to share that joy with many people. So he was willing to give free subscriptions to 10 deserving participants, and we had a questionnaire and a process to choose the participants, and we're very happy to say that we have shortlisted 6 of them who will be communicated via email on the next steps. This participant, who's out of his own generosity and humbleness, would like to keep his name anonymous, but we would like to take a moment to thank him and acknowledge him for this very nice gesture.
All right, very happy to hear that. Glad, I think I know the person whose name you are taking, and where this is a very, very noble gesture. By helping distribute this knowledge, we automatically receive it for ourselves. So whoever, this is a preaching mission where we are disseminating this knowledge. So in whatever way you are serving, you are a part of this mission in helping humankind in the most noble way. Somebody is hungry, you feed the person. After 6 days, he's again hungry. 6 hours, he's again hungry. But you teach him how to earn a living, and you've solved his hunger problem for life. So similarly, the miseries of the soul are because of separation from God. And in this mission, we are trying to help the souls establish true yoga, a real connection with God. So your gesture is and your sentiments are very appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those kind words, Swamiji. We now move on to the next question from Radha Shilpa Koripelli from Virginia.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji. I feel very
Radhe
blessed to be
Radhe.
with you today. My JKYog journey started through Facebook. I used to watch your inspirational videos in Facebook, and from there it continued to the 21 days sadhana and then happiness challenge. And my son also attends Bal Mukund summer camp. I feel very, very blessed to be in this sadhana. And my question for today is, me and my family have been following a Guruji from our childhood, like from very young age. And I have learned a lot and I changed a lot during many years. And then my spiritual progress, it stopped, like my journey stopped. So now again, I'm in search of different sadhana paths and all, but I'm very much attached to my Guruji. So can I change my Guruji? And what do you suggest me for my spiritual progress further?
Yes, this question does come up many times. When we made a guru, we had a level of enlightenment, a standard in our sadhana. And then down the line, we made progress. That level changed. So like you go from primary school to middle school to high school. Now, when you go into high school, you've got another teacher there. You are in no way disrespecting the previous teacher. It is a natural, you did your learning well, and that is why you are in the next level. So in the same way, whatever we have learned from our guru, that sense of gratitude should always be there, that we are deeply thankful. And at the same time, if we find something that is taking us further or that is not proving useful to us at this time, then the purpose of human life is to reach the goal. So why should we not accept it? And we do keep in mind that the relationship to the Guru is a very emotional one, and there is no need to create a hurt out there. So you have all the respect for your previous Guru. And at the same time, if you feel inspired towards a Guru whom you feel is now going to take you further ahead, just think that this is another form of my Guru, and you will be able to take that step very easily.
Thank you once again, Swamiji, for that very clear answer. Now we move on to Bangalore. Rajat Joshi ji has recently joined us in the online session, and he'll be asking the next question.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji, myself Rajat Joshi. I joined from Bangalore in India. I came to know about JKYog from YouTube, and my journey started with JKYog from daily sadhana sessions conducted by Swapnaji. And one thing that intrigued me the most after watching Swamiji's video on YouTube is that being IIT and IIM pass out, why did Swamiji choose to be on a different path altogether? My question is, how can we break a bad habit pattern and simultaneously build a new habit pattern as part of our subconscious mind, so that I can practice Roop Dhyan meditation, which came into my notice after I joined JKYog. And also in my material realm, I want to learn and play guitar. I want to learn and implement new technologies in my career. Thank you, Swamiji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. If we wish to change a habit, take a piece of paper and write down out there all the benefits that will accrue if this habit is changed, and all the harm that will come if this habit is not changed. So make a list that if I can change this habit, this is how I will benefit. These are the problems that I will get rid of. And if I don't change this habit, these are the problems that will continue. And this is the harm that will come. So make a list of all of these things and then think about it again and again and again, so that your intellect becomes fully convinced of the necessity for changing it. And the second part then is the need for willpower. Willpower means you have to force yourself initially. Any kind of change you wish to implement in yourself, initially it's very difficult. But later on, it becomes a little easier. It still remains difficult. And then slowly it becomes natural. So the deeper a habit, the more difficult it becomes to change it. Just like the bigger a tree is, the harder it is to uproot it from the earth. But remember, still, the easiest time to change it is now. Because the more you prolong, the more and more difficult it's going to become. What is required then is strength of purpose, firm resolve, exercise of willpower. And when you engage in devotion, it gives you one huge advantage. What is that? Devotion gives you a higher pleasure. It gives you an inner satisfaction that makes it easier for you to resist the mundane things. So alongside with your practice, engage in devotion and fight the battle. That is how changes have been brought about by people, and that is what you will have to do as well. So very happy to connect with you and glad to meet you all the way from Bangalore.
Thank you, Swamiji. Our next question comes from Pennsylvania. Mridula Mishraji from Pennsylvania.
Radhe Radhe, Swamiji. So,
Radhe.
it's been a long time. We first met about 10 years ago at the Hari Temple here in Pennsylvania. So a couple of times. So I'm very excited to just have this opportunity to meet with you again. From that time, you taught me about meditation. That became a part of my life and has helped me through the past 10 years, through just living life. And just even recently with the pandemic, the COVID and everything. So my daughter she's learned how to read and write Hindi because of the JKYog classes. So and the daily sadhana just came at the perfect time. I have a few family members who we all look forward to the time of daily sadhana, and I was excited to even get to talk to Swapnaji and meet her, know that she lives so close by, just knowing the whole JKYog family, everybody here. So thank you for all that you have done. My question for you is, do our interactions, the energies that we have with people in this life, do they affect us in our next life? And do we meet the same people but in different forms in our next life and carry over some of those tensions or the goodwill into our next life with those meetings?
Okay, Mridula, glad to meet you online. I do remember having met you at the programs in the Hari Temple, and happy to know that you have been continuing with your practices. Now, our next life is determined by a number of factors. One is our karmas in this life. And second is that if the lessons that we now need to learn to move ahead. So you did your high school in one place. Now, which college do you qualify for? That is the one you take admission in. So God says, all right, this you learned. Now, this is where I will put you so that you learn these lessons and the journey of the soul continues. So as far as the relationships are concerned, usually they are temporary. That means that was like when you travel in an Indian train, you have people sitting around. And you know that it's a very, very temporary connection, because when their station comes, they will get off. When your station comes, you will get off. That is how life is as well. The souls get together for a little while, and then they are separated again, never to meet. As an exception, sometimes they do meet again. Sometimes if your attachment to someone is very strong, that attachment would then cause your soul to again come to connect with that person. But we should assume that in most cases, these relationships are of one lifetime itself. But the experiences you had, the learnings you got, the attitudes you developed, all these will be carried forward. So it is, you keep on learning. Remember not to develop negative attitudes, because those are going to continue with you. And then again with other people, the same will manifest. Instead, if you have cultivated proper perspectives, proper beliefs, proper values, you will take them with you when you move on to your next life. Thank you, Mridula.
Thank you, Swamiji. Our next question comes in from a very relatively new member of the online JKYog online sessions, Mr. Anil Prayagji from Maryland.
Radhe Radhe Swamiji, and Radhe Radhe everyone. My name is Anil Prayag. I'm from Rockville, Maryland. I came to know about JKYog because of a WhatsApp friend very recently. After that, I was lucky to complete the Happiness Challenge course. The instructor was very engaging, very helpful to me. In fact, I would say that I would call her as mini Swamiji. My question today is related to the pandemic situation. Many low-wage, unskilled workers have lost their jobs. Hence, such unemployed workers' family doesn't have a roof on their head, nor food for their hungry children. How can I tell such a desperate person to be happy? And on a larger scale, in this world, every human being is affected by this pandemic, from a 9-day-old baby to a 99-year-old person. They're suffering. Why God is punishing everyone at the same time all over the world? I mean, if it is related to karma, how this is possible? Everyone is suffering to a larger extent suddenly in this period. I mean,
all right, thank you very much. Suffering is an aspect of this world itself. The pandemic has made you aware and conscious of the suffering of the people. But this is only a tiny fraction of the suffering that people are undergoing. There is disease. Pandemic is not the only one. Everyone is falling sick. There is old age. There is death. The biggest suffering that people experience is from their own mind. The body is perfectly healthy. They live in good homes. They have good families. But the mind itself is tormenting them. So you have become conscious of the suffering of the migrant workers because of the corona. But suffering is there in this whole world. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. It is said the nature of this world is dukkhamay, full of suffering, and ashashvat, temporary. So either you say God doesn't know what he is doing, or you should be willing to submit your intellect. In his divine wisdom, what he is doing is for our benefit. So the kind of complaint that we offer, God doesn't know what he's doing. The little child also fights with the mother like that. The child says, Mommy, I want this. And the mother says, it's not good for you. Right now, go and stand against the wall and don't speak to anybody. So when the mother is giving that kind of misery to the child, it is for the child's benefit. In the same way, everybody in this world is here because we have turned our backs to God. If we could find happiness here, there would be no need for God. But the fact is, not one soul can ever find happiness in this world without bhakti. Himate anal prakat baru hoi, vimukh ram sukh pavan koi. The Ramayana states, you may be able to get fire to manifest from ice. This impossible may become possible. But Vimukharam, with back to God, you can never become happy. So sometimes God, it's what is required is for the pot of misery to become really big. And then people say, okay, I cannot bear it any longer. They trash it. In the same way, how God brings the souls to his feet, that he alone understands. Whether it is with the help of knowledge, with the help of happiness, with the help of distress. If we say, I'm going to solve the problems of the world, we will not be able to solve the problems of our own mind. And that is why when you go in a flight, the air hostess announces, before you put on the oxygen mask on your child, put it onto yourself. Before you think of saving this world, think of how you can save yourself. Because that is how you can help the world, by first of all helping yourself. So focus on how I can improve myself. And slowly, slowly, you will become an instrument of God in improving the whole world as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. I wish we can go on and on. We're almost approaching the end of, we've crossed more than 54 minutes now into the session. So we will take one last question for today. Moving on to California, to Lata ji. And I have to say that she also got connected to the online session and she has taken the next step and she's very committedly doing seva as well. So over to you, Lata ji. Please unmute yourself, Lata ji.
You'll find a little icon on the left side window, left corner.
Yeah, you did unmute yourself now. Yes.
Radhe, Radhe?
Yes.
Radhe, Radhe? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, please.
Pranam, Swamiji. This is Lata from California. We are extremely grateful for the valuable guidance and priceless teachings that has transformed many of our lives. We are sincerely thankful to the JKYog team for the excellent service offered through various online sessions for the spiritual uplift of the people around the world. The question is, what are the recommendations for those of us who wants to renounce worldly life, both the external and the inner world, for a secluded spiritual living to progress in the path to supreme realization? Thank you.
That is a very serious question. To take the step of renunciation is one of the biggest steps. But at the same time, it has to be contemplated deeply. This step of renouncing and going into the renounced ashram should be done only under the guidance of a guru. Because the guru knows what the path entails and the guru can evaluate us and see whether we are at that point or not. So when we come in touch with the guide, we start associating with the guide, we develop that firm faith and that surrender. And when we discover that our mind is now reasonably attached to God, the sense of vairagya, the decision that the happiness I want is not in these things in the world, that has ripened and matured, and we wish to engage our resources, our physical, mental, intellectual resources in the service of God, then with the permission and of the Guru and the Guru's guidance, we take that step. So if you have such inspiration, well, I'm very happy to hear that. Dedicate yourself to your sadhana and get more guidance from your guru, more personal touch with the guru, and then the guru will guide you on how to take that next step. So very happy to hear all these questions, and I am so delighted that everybody is liking the JKYog online sessions and you all have been benefiting from them. in such a wonderful way. I would also like to congratulate all the JKYog volunteers who have been working with so much of dedication, sincerity, and attention to detail to make these sessions of quality for all of you. I am going to make an announcement, but I'll take a few seconds break to go and get my iPad.
Just So yes, the next segment is a very interesting segment. As part of the online sessions, we have a lot of online sessions going on, and we also completed the 21 days happiness challenge. So we have come up with these new awards, and there were two categories in these awards. The first category was where the participant themselves, through their oaths, pick the winners. And in the second category, we conducted a quiz on happiness challenge, and we have 3 winners from that. In the first category, where the participants voted and picked them, there are 4 awards. The first one is Making a Difference Award, and this is to the participant who very actively contributed and made a difference through their active sharing of knowledge in the sessions. The second award is the Distributor of Smiles Award, which is to the participant who made a difference through their dynamic and very enthusiastic participation. The third award is the Amazing Addition Award, which is to a new participant. And this participant, though they joined recently in the last series, but they have significantly contributed and very actively participated. And fourth one is the Most Inquisitive Participant, to the participant who had, who was very open for gaining knowledge and for learning. So these are the 4 awards chosen by the participants themselves. And of course, we have 3 prizes from the Happiness Challenge, very interactive quiz that was conducted actually yesterday on the Kahoot platform. And we're very grateful that Swamiji is going to call out the names of the winners for all these awards.
Okay, good. So I'm going to share with you the names of the winners. The first is Making a Difference Award, and this goes to Anshuman Tiwari.
You and express my heartfelt gratitude. My journey started with the 7 mindsets of success, happiness, and fulfillment in a session in Hyderabad, followed by LTC and then Happiness Challenge twice. And I want to express thanks to you for sharing the knowledge in a very easy to comprehend manner. And also special thanks to Swapnaji for encouraging all the participants. Thank you so much. Pranam.
Very nice, Anshuman. Now we have the Distributor of Smiles Award. This is a very interesting award, and it goes to Ananda Pradhan.
Pranam Swamiji.
Radhe,
Radhe Radhe. Yeah, I am so grateful.
You are already smiling. You're smiling as usual.
Yes, Swamiji, by your blessing. Yeah, and I am so thankful and grateful for all the knowledge and all the knowledge and the changes you made in me. I called you as my chief inspiration officer in my life, and I'm so grateful for our happiness ambassador and angel of our group is Swapnaji, who made us who like wave a magic wand so that we stink and daily participate in the sessions. And thank you so much.
Very good, Anand Pradhan. We now have Amazing Addition Award. The Amazing Addition Award goes to TV Ramachandran.
He's not on, Swamiji. So
TV Ramachandran. Okay, he says. Would you like to say something? We can hear you.
He cannot, he couldn't join.
Oh.
So the rest of the awards, they will not be here. So we can just announce the names.
I see. Then the most inquisitive participant award goes to Dr. Yudhiji. Dr. Yudhiji, the most inquisitive participant. Happiness Challenge quiz winners. First place, Vishal Khokha from Virginia. Second place, Anand Pradhan from Amravati. And the third place, Anshuman Tiwari from Hyderabad. So congratulations to all of you for your active and heartful participation in this program. Very happy to connect with all of you today.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. I think I'm sure all the participants will be very happy to hear the awards, and with you calling out the names, it makes it even more special. With that, we come to an end to this wonderful exclusive Q&A session with Swamiji. I just read something recently from Samuel Brengel, who is an early Salvation Army official, who wrote in his diary, "The axe cannot boast of the trees it has cut down. It could do nothing but for the woodsman. He made it, he sharpened it, and he used it. The moment he throws it aside, it becomes an old iron." Likewise, this entire online platform, right from the idea to each and every content, be it the videos or the meditation or the guidance throughout, it would not be possible without you, Swamiji. It is your wisdom, it is your hard work and your inspiration that has brought all of us together. And this transformation that many of us are experiencing is due to your blessings. There's no way we can express our gratitude, and the only thing we can all attempt to do is to implement the teachings from Maharaji and you, and that too we can do it with your blessings and guidance.
Thank you, Swapna, for those wonderful thoughts. Srimad Satguru Sarkar Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Bhagwan Ki Jai. Thank you all, everybody.